Okay, welcome to your first video. So, you guys have your PVC pipes. Hopefully you've been using them a little bit. We're just going to go over those shoulder pass-throughs a couple times. There's two different grips that we're going to use. This is the first one. If you can't see the PVC pipe, all I'm doing is having active shoulders, locking my elbows out straight, and going over the head. If you have to have your hands way out here right now, that's okay. As long as you can clear your head, it's okay. And as you get better, you just slowly bring them in. Activate those shoulders. It's easier when they're active versus loose is going to be more of a stretch, even for me. And then again, just emphasizing the locking out those elbows. Picture yourself having braces on them so you can't move them all the way back. Do about 10 like that. And then you're going to switch up the grip. So you're going to put it behind you, palms out, and then the same thing. Over your head, bring it in a little bit if that's too easy. Keep those elbows locked and the shoulders active. It takes a little bit of effort. It's not a lazy movement. Everything is kind of rigid for it. So once you've done 10 about of those, shoulders should feel nice and loose. I think that I had you guys do with a kettlebell when you were here. We were kind of going over these things. So instead of those, since those were kind of difficult to start with, we're going to start with the PVC pipe on your back. So you're just going to put it wherever's comfortable, hands, doesn't matter. Widen your stance, keep your legs straight, but a little bit of knee bend, never going to lock out your knees. And keeping your torso pretty straight, you're going to go right side to left foot, just like that. This is the goal. If you can only get here, that's okay. You just keep working on that, pulling on it like that. Same thing on the other side. So you want to make sure you're shooting your hips back and you're not squatting, you're not bending your knees, you're not doing this, you're not rounding out your back. Everything is rigid, just like we talked about, chest out, butt out. So your form is like this versus this and squatting. Rigid, right side to left toe is the goal, just like that. Keep those knees straight around this one. Another thing we're going to do with the PVC pipe on your shoulders like this, it's called good mornings. Good mornings are never meant to be fast. You want to do them really slow from the side. They look like this. Same thing, chest out, butt out, always. You can put your hands wherever you want. If you want to hold on like this, if you want to relax them a little bit more, bend over. You don't want to lose this lumbar curve. So once I get to the point where it's too much and that starts rounding, that's too far. You'll feel a pull in your hamstrings based on your flexibility. You're going to come back up using your glutes, your hamstrings, squeeze them, and go back down. So I start to feel it right about here. The hamstrings are a little bit tight, so I'm going to come back up, keeping that chest up. It's not this, letting that go, chest out, butt out, all the time. Nice and slow, you don't want to be doing it like this. It's nice and slow and controlled. Gives you a nice little stretch. This is a good warm-up exercise before any kind of lifting. Stretches a little bit. Helps you to squeeze those shoulder muscles back to work on keeping that chest out. You want to imagine there's a pencil between your shoulder blades and you're trying to hold it just with your shoulder blades, your shoulder muscles. So you don't let that go. Never let that go and relax it. It takes a lot of effort. It's not something that it's just easy if you're not used to it. All right, first thing we're going to go over is just a stretch. So if you have a box or a bench, use this one. Put your hands, palms down. You're on your knees. Again, your elbows are locked, and you're just going down. Put your head between your arms until you feel a nice gentle stretch. You're going to feel it right through here, those shoulders. Come back up. Keep those elbows straight. You don't want to be bending them while you're going down. Right here, go a little bit further if you can. Hold it. Come back up. So that's a pretty easy one to do. Another one we did when you guys were here was the walkouts. So hands and knees, Walk out your fingers, flip it, palm up, and you're raising it as high as you can. Come back down. So you want to do about 5 on each side of these. Elbows got to stay straight, so check each other when you're doing this. If it's starting to bend, it's too much, really work on that elbow straightness. You can even help each other by pushing on it and keeping that elbow locked. Up and down. So do about 5 on each side. The steps of the Turkish Getup. Since Dennis, you were kind of a pro at these, just in case you forgot the steps. So you always start the same arm in the air and the same leg up in the air. So this hand is kind of just off to the side. So straight up. You want to keep looking at your weight the whole time. That tends to help people keep their elbows straight versus bending it. The heavier you get, the more you need to keep your elbow straight or it's just going to come down on you. So first step is either onto the elbow or right onto the hand right away. Hips nice and high so you can go from your heel right onto your knee, straight, and you stand. Keep looking at that weight. Come down onto the hand, leg comes through, and you're down. You can use whatever weight you want for this. You can use different size objects. You can use your PVC pipe as well. So again, the other side, right arm is up, right leg is up, onto the elbow, to the hand. You want your hips to come nice and high here. If your hips aren't high enough, people end up doing this, getting under. Also, if you start facing this way, you want to end up standing facing this way. So some people that aren't flexible will be here, and then they'll be turning and they'll end up here. So your goal is to stay straight, go right from that heel to that knee, stand up, same thing on the way back down, leg comes through, and you're down. And then one of the last things is we went over that third world squat position. So both of you can work on this. It's just sitting just like this. So you want your heels on the ground. You can kind of use your elbows to push your knees out like this. And the most important thing is you want to keep that chest up. So I think, Dennis, you had this okay, except your heels kept coming off the ground, which this is a nice stretch too. So heels stay down, hands kind of come up if you can, and bring that chest up. This is your goal right here. For you, Claudia, or if you can't hold that position, you just grab onto something like this. You go down, you work on the same things. You work on keeping those heels down. You might start out here, and you're just trying, keep pulling that chest forward. Imagine a magnet right here for your chest. Just keep working on it, straightening that back. It's going to require active participation of your back muscles, squeezing those shoulder blades again, so it doesn't just happen. You got to work on it, pull your chest to that bar or whatever you're using, so you end up like this. Just make sure when you're doing that, your heels aren't coming up too, so keep your heels down, just like that. The goal is to be able to hold that for about 2 or 3 minutes. It probably sounds very uncomfortable to you right now, but eventually this is a pretty comfortable position, and it's going to come in handy when we do other things and squats, and as people start to do more things, just easier to get up off the ground. Position like this. Keep those knees out, don't let them cave in, don't want to have pronation, keep them out. Stand up. The last thing we're going to go over is the PNF stretching that we did at the end. I call it partners and friends, just because that's more fun than proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. So we're just going to stick with 2 for now, so you need to use each other for this. The first one is legs together, and your partner's going to be gently pushing on your back muscles, your upper back, kind of how I was. I like to tell people to go down. The partner's going to give them a nice easy stretch for about 10 seconds, and then the partner's going to say push. And you're pushing back using those leg muscles for about 8 to 10 seconds. Take a deep breath out, relax, and go a little bit further your next time. So 3 holds and 3 pushes per stretch. The next one is just going to be legs spread, just like this. partner's behind you again. You're getting a nice stretch wherever is comfortable for you to start with. They're just going to hold you there. And then when they say push, you're going to push back using your leg muscles. You'll end up using your back a little bit, but it's mostly using those leg muscles to contract. And then you're going to relax them, breathe out, and reach a little bit further each time. It's important to keep breathing during this because you're not going to get more flexible if you're all tight and tense, and that just makes it more painful. So keep breathing through it. It's hard to get used to at first, but it'll work out better for you in the end. So every time you're going to relax, take a deep breath out and just imagine yourself going even further. And we're just going to stick with those 2 P&F stretches for now, and we'll kind of add some more in as we go. Okay, welcome to Behinds in Motion.